Good morning and welcome to the Planning Hearing Officer hearings for September 17th, 2014. My name is Laura Stotler and I'm serving as Planning Hearing Officer today. We have 3 cases on the agenda and all the relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. The agenda, staff reports, and recommendations for each of today's cases can be found on the city's website. A copy of the hearing procedures are available on the counter by the door next to the agendas, as well as copies of the staff reports. On the agenda today are 3 variances under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.43 of the Glendale Municipal Code. A variance shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. And again, those 4 required findings are outlined in the staff reports, and you may obtain a copy just right next to the door. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the criteria, then the planning hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the case in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the request will be denied. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners and occupants located within 500 feet of the subject property. A sign was physically posted on the sites in question, and there was an advertisement placed in the newspaper and also posted on the city's website. The hearings will proceed as follows. I'll read a description of the requested entitlements. The case planner will then make a brief overview of the case, give an analysis, and make a recommendation. The applicant will then be asked to come forward, stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support of or in opposition to the application and interested parties will then be asked to come forward to speak, stating both name and address within a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments if desired in response to the testimonies given by preceding speakers, and they will have a 5-minute time limit to do that. The hearing will then be closed, and the case will be taken under submission. After the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking here at this meeting or those who have written to us and left a mailing address. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. However, if a decision is made at this hearing, the decision date will be today's date, and the 15-day appeal period will start today. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from the Permit Services Center located in room 101 of this building. So if there's anybody who wishes to speak, please submit a speaker's request form to our secretary. I'd also like to inform everybody that the official proceedings of this hearing are being recorded, and those are part of the public record. So today we actually have 3 cases that are related. They all have to do with a retaining wall, retaining walls that are necessary. So if there's no objection, I would like to combine all of these hearings into one hearing. And I'm not seeing that there's any objection. So I'm going to read the case numbers, and then I'll ask the case planner to give an overview. First location is 749 Glenmore Boulevard, variance case PVAR 1410630. The second one is 765 Glenmore Boulevard, variance case number PVAR 1410621. And then the third case is 1652 Gladys Drive, variance case number PVAR 1410614. All of these cases, the projects are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act as Class 3 new construction or conversion of small structures pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act Guidelines Section 15310. For all of these are just standards variance applications to allow retaining walls to exceed 5 feet in height when more than 5 feet from an interior property line, to allow a retaining wall height within 5 feet of an interior property line to exceed the height of 3 feet, and to allow the existing house to exceed allowable heights in the R1R restricted residential zone, floor area District 1, described as Lot 21, and a portion of vacated walk block L, tract 7600. And there was also a variance to allow the slope gradient between the retaining walls to exceed 2-to-1 horizontal to vertical steepness. And I believe that encompasses all of the variances that are requested here. So I'd like to ask the case planner, Brad Collin, to please provide an overview.
Thank you, Ms. Stotler. As mentioned, we have three cases today, one for 749 Glenmore, one for 765 Glenmore Boulevard, and the third one at 1652 Gladys. The three variances, as mentioned, are all related to slope failure that happened in 2005 as a result of heavy rain exposure. A portion of the property had or experienced slope failure. Various earth retention features were damaged or destroyed, and additionally, substantial earth material was deposited into the rear yard and swimming pool. The property owner has been working with Building and Safety as well as the city's Public Works Engineering Department to address the safety issue caused by the slope damage. And the owner also owns, as mentioned, 765 Glenmore, 1652 Gladys, and 749 Glenmore. So the retaining walls, heights, the slope, and the height for the house are all being requested as a means to improve and protect the properties that's out there now. Code compliant walls and slope in between the walls would not efficiently protect all three properties, much less the surrounding properties. And staff believes that the four findings can be made for each of the three applications and is recommending approval based off the findings and draft conditions. Staff did receive and has been in contact with a neighbor who lives on Fay Drive, Miss Terry Colley. She had concerns regarding retaining walls that are being proposed. She's hoping that they will not be an eyesore and wants the materials to match the hillside. She's also hoping that any weeds that are out there now will be cleared and removed. And also she's asking that native plants and trees be planted on the property to make the property more appealing and make the neighborhood look a lot nicer. And she's asking that no palm trees be planted. She wants more of the native plants and trees, which the requirement for the material for the retaining walls is a code requirement, where the retaining walls are supposed to be either split face, slump stone, textured poured concrete, or some sort of veneer that matches the hillside, as well as the grout color also to match the hillside, and depending what you feel is the best way to go on that. In addition, staff has already included a condition about the weeds and the trimming, as well as proposed planting being native plants. And it might be a good idea to add in a condition that maybe ivy or some sort of vine be planted such that it grows over the walls to make a more pleasing or appealing look from the streets rather than just the walls as proposed. So that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any comments, and the applicant and owner are in the audience.
Is the applicant proposing to have walls similar to the ones that are already out there? I guess I can ask that to the applicant. Okay. I have one card before me for the applicant, George Bogosian.
Good morning, Madam Hearing Officer and planning staff. My name is George Bogosian. My address is 1111 North Brand Boulevard, Suite 202, Glendale, 91202, excuse me. I concur fully with all the findings and the description of all these three projects, 749 Glenmore, 765 Glenmore, and 1652 Gladys Drive, was explained by the planning staff, and the request what we have, and I do appreciate from the staff in concurring that the findings, the four findings, that this variances, and they have city staff has recommended approval. I don't wish to reiterate the same things for the sake of time, and I don't want to repeat the same things. So if there are any specific questions I could ask you would ask me, I will be very pleased to answer you. But just overall, what we have proposed to do, the developer has proposed to do in here is to comply fully with the City of Glendale building and safety requirements, which is the taking care of this slope, which city at one time has already the most western portion, which is Gladys Drive. The city has already taken into, they have done some slope repairs, but it was not done fully, completely. So what the city is requiring from the developer is to come and redo what is left of this in order to assure that the slope stability is fully taken care of it, so we will not have any incident in the future time. So based on that, we are proposing to remove an existing wall and to replace in place, even though at some point the height or the variances at this point for the current code we cannot meet. It's almost impossible. That's the reason that we are requesting these variances. So beyond that, we have also reviewed all the conditions of approval for all projects. One of them is the 749, 10 conditions, 765 Glenmore, 11 conditions, and Gladys has also 11 conditions we have reviewed, and we will comply fully with all these conditions. At the same time, this morning we received a letter, the concern of a neighbor who wishes to make sure the wall heights and also the landscaping is done properly to their satisfaction, to neighborhood satisfaction. We will do that definitely. We will work with the department, with the Public Works Department, and actually Parks and Rec will be involved in here. We will check the type of plants that they need, and we will provide those in our landscaping and irrigation plan.
Okay.
And if you have any additional questions.
Well, I just want to clarify that as the variances are needed to essentially stabilize the slope that's already there. You're not asking for additional variances to build a bigger house or anything else. It's just to make the property that's already there safe. Is that correct?
That is totally correct.
Okay. And in terms of planting, that would be restricted also by whatever the recommendations are in your soils report and geotech, correct?
That will be taken every step on the structural design and assuring that the stability designs are done. It will be involved with the structural engineer and the soils report prepared specifically for all three sites.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, when would this be constructed? Should it be approved?
Should it be approved, we should start immediately the work. We've been waiting for this. We cannot do anything until the city approves these variances, so we can start, and we are really waiting for this approval.
Okay.
So we can start immediately.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to speak? No? Is there anything else you wish to add?
No,
okay.
I just appreciate very much for recognizing the four conditions for the variance in approving this project. We thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. With that, I hear no opposition with the letter that we received. I see that the applicant is addressing those concerns to the degree that we can within the soils report and the geotech. So with that, I'm going to approve all three of these variances as requested and with the conditions that are included in the staff reports. And I have no other hearing items today. Therefore, that closes the hearing and also closes today's cases.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.